Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Buzmen videos. Buzmen is a great podcast initiative which aims to bring together inspiring stories from across the country under one platform. My name is Roya and we're here with Mr. Ramesh Reddy today. Thank you for joining us, sir. So tell us a little bit about yourself, sir. Tell us about your background and your experience.
Yeah, my name is Ramesh. I am an IPS officer working in Telangana State Police for the government. Belong to 2005 batch of the police service. Right now, I am posted as Deputy Commissioner of Police, East Zone in Hyderabad City Police. For the last 2.5 years, I am working here.
Now, was being an IPS officer always a dream that you had?
Obviously, ever since it was a childhood dream to get into the All India services, and I was so overwhelmed and so thrilled. Thank God for giving me this opportunity to serve you all.
Now, so I'm sure with such a busy schedule, how do you manage to find time for some entertainment if you do manage to find some time?
Yeah, I would definitely like to listen to some music, get into some kind of a reading, alternate reading stuff. Getting into, we have a lot of social media accounts, so just get into there and know what's happening in the alternate world. So we are in the world of crime, so alternate world, what's happening right now? Entire world is now dealing with this problem of pandemic. So what's happening there? Our other countries and our other states facing this problem. How are my colleagues in other states in the country able to deal with this? So all those things we got to know about.
Now, if I'm right, sir, you had run a marathon a few years ago in New York City. I think it was with the New York City Police Department, if I'm not wrong. Tell us about your experience. How was it?
That was long back. Yeah, I keep running I'm a long distance runner, so just a kind of a hobby. I'm not a time runner. I just enjoy running.
Tell us about your experience, sir.
Yeah, it was in fact, I being from the police services, it was a memorial run for those people who lost their lives. The police and the fire services who lost their lives. Like in India also, was 21st of October, we have a police commemoration day for all those martyrs who have given away their life in the altar of duty. So for that supreme sacrifice, people remember us. So during that October 15th to 21st, we have a commemoration week also. So we invite so many people. We go into the community, tell the people about the police sacrifices and all. I have seen this run after participating in the New York run. I have brought the same thing into Hyderabad. Did 2 years consecutively on the October month during that commemoration week. We had a run here, commemorative run here. So I replicated the good practice.
Now, we have to mention, sir, now, being in this pandemic of COVID-19, we all have seen how the police force is working absolutely tirelessly to ensure the safety of our people. Tell us about your experience about going through this pandemic and what it's been like to be in this situation.
Anything said is less. The work that we have put in ever since. I remember 15th of March as the day on which the first order in our state was issued, closing down some institutions, some installations, restricting the public movement. It was on the 22nd of March, the Janta curfew started, and from 23rd of March onwards, the lockdown in our Telangana state started, and 25th onwards throughout the country. So the moment first week from 15th onwards, we started closing down all these kinds of institutions, gyms, bars, cinema theaters, function halls, all those places were there. In Hyderabad city kind of a place where there are plenty of such things. So our enforcement initially started with this. During that time, we didn't have these masks and other things. We were just said there should not be any gathering at all. The gatherings will definitely give chance for this pandemic to spread. So to cut down these gatherings, such things should be closed down. That was the mandate in the beginning. So slowly, things started, and towards the end of the March, we heard this thing called as some positive cases reporting in for the Delhi Markaz, Nizamuddin Markaz, where a large number of people, lakhs of people came in from various countries and congregated in Nizamuddin Markaz in Delhi. And after that, they all went into different parts of the country, and they landed in Hyderabad, and they went from here to various districts and also Andhra Pradesh also. So we had to we initially got some cases in Karimnagar district, which were traced. Then some cases from here, they got treated and went to Karnataka. So the challenge was to now trace them. We never had any data. We were never expected to keep any track of any such moment. Like it was like any other public moment. So they went there, they came back. So how to get this data? So various sources we used: airplane data, railways data, bus data, telephones, and so many things. We could trace most of the people, 99% of them who visited the track. We could trace them. We could go into the houses, got them tested. Whoever tested positive, all those people were quarantined, and all those people who tested positive were brought into the hospitals. So this kind of thing initially was in our hands. We had some multi-purpose health assistants with us, some nurses working in the communities. So we went there. Initially, it was a big, scary situation. It was a lockdown time, everybody in their homes. And then when police went there, people were scared. Why police is coming? Health workers had some kind of resistance. Unless police went there, they were not allowing. So then later phase was about containment zones. We had to put barricades and stop the people from crossing those areas. That was again a big challenge. Providing them the daily necessities inside that containment zone, getting groceries and everything, milk. Morning it used to start. So then slowly the Ramzan period started, that 1 month, a holy month. So these things kept on going. Then the besides this work for COVID, essential supplies was a big thing for us. We learned what is the supply chain management, not just essential commodities that is available in the market. The commodity, whatever is required for that, even the packing material is also part of the supply chain. So if a commodity has to be brought into the supermarket, the packing material, wherever it is coming from, wherever it is going to, we had to facilitate them. So movement of people was stopped. Movement of goods and commodities was only allowed. So we had checkposts everywhere. So many vehicles were stopped. So many violators were booked. It was, I mean, nightmare situation for us. Throughout the country, we saw everybody appreciating the police, and that's a big satisfaction for us. And later, in the later period, when the lockdown was lifted, people started moving, and then we started getting infected. A lot of police are getting infected. So many people died also. So many police people, knowing fully well the risks, they went into the face of the risk and got infected themselves and gave their lives also.
Now, we also have to mention, how we have to commemorate the families of the police force who are as involved with this as the police themselves, with now having an extra burden of having to worry about their loved ones either contracting the virus or bringing the virus home with them, and all these various other aspects of the pandemic that we're currently in. Tell us what would be some of the safety measures that were provided to the police force by the government?
See, the initial thing was protect ourselves and protect others from us. That was personal sanitation products like sanitizers, masks,
Yeah.
visors. All those things were provided. PPE kits were also provided. We had to do our duty in the hospitals also, because during some initial period there were some patients which were getting into arguments with the doctors. Some cases of assault on the doctors also had happened. So due to such situations, we had to put our police people inside that round the clock, 3 shifts. We discovered some vendors. We ordered PPE kits, brought them from various vendors, gave them to people. Initially, there was a lot of resistance because it was so suffocating to wear. But somehow we convinced them to do those duties inside the wards. And then coming to the families that you said, police families, again, they were all very, very stressed up. They were very, very concerned about us, how we are going into the communities. We should not get those infections back homes. So we were taking all kinds of precautions. I mean, sanitizing ourselves completely, taking a bath here and there, changing the clothes, and going home, we go home cleanly. Or if none of that things are available, we go straight into the bathroom, take a shower, and then come back, and then all those kinds of things. Basically, to take a steam. So all those precautions that were advised were being observed by all.
Now, you did mention, sir, that the force did face a lot of difficulty in trying to contain people in their homes. Um, Tell us a little bit about how the situation was contained. How did you ensure people were in their homes and how it was maintained to that extent?
We have a municipal organization called Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. They had taken some function halls on lease. They were taken over and provided food. All these people who were living on the streets were then picked up and put them into these places, camps, where food was given. Even food was also supplied through Hare Rama Hare Krishna mission. We have food distribution system in Hyderabad. 5 rupees meals. That system was already there in place. The same meal was given free of cost. So about they were, I was told they were cooking food for around 25 to 27 lakh people a day. So we had to provide security for those places and also those places where these fellows were living. And there's a lot of resistance. We can't keep them together. Only the fear of pandemic was there. So that they have to be secured and kept in that place, not to come out. So that was a big challenge. And then later challenge about the migrant labor. Many people were just moving around, leaving the places. We had to again convince them, bring them back and put them in the places, giving them rations. So many philanthropists. Like India, really, I respect my country and my countrymen. Lot of respect. We have a lot of generosity in us. So many people came forward to give food. A really wonderful India, incredible India. We are the people who live for others. So a lot of generosity came forward. People came forward with ration kits, came forward with cooked food. We went there all around distributing all these kinds of stuff.
Now, I have to ask, would you possibly have any advice to give to an aspiring IPS officer who could possibly be watching this video?
Aspiring IPS officer, work hard, stay focused, be on your goal. Whatever you do, don't sever away from your goal. Have a consistent effort, minimum more than average, more than whatever is required, more than average. Always keep more than average, and keep a positive mindset. Keep a positive mindset. Never be under stress. Of course, definitely as a student, it's very easy for me to tell, but for the students, they are definitely under stress. But it's for me to tell them, cut down your stress. Just listen to music for some time. After 1 hour of study, just look here and there, and then get back to your work. Stay focused. My advice to them is, whenever they learn something, whenever they read something, start practicing, start writing. Let them write a small short note. Whatever they read, whatever they listen in the YouTube or whatever, let them write up. So these written notes in the form of a book, if it is there, they can refer it anytime. So all that knowledge is there with them. They can even retrieve and then reproduce anytime, whatever. So that's it.
Right, so thank you so much for that wonderful advice. I'm sure a lot of people will prosper from it. Now, before we go, sir, I have to ask you, is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers, the most thrilling case that you've been a part of, anything?
Thrilling case. There are many actually, but there was one such case where when public transport bus was stolen. The big bus was stolen from an RTC depot. Two fellows stole it and went to Maharashtra,
Okay.
Nanded. So the moment we got the information about 5 6 hours late, delayed information, it was committed theft of in the early hours of between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. And by the time we got this information, it was 11 12. So immediately we got our teams into action, and then into various directions we went. We saw the CCTV footages, talked to the toll gates. If it was going outside Hyderabad, then definitely it has to cross some toll gates. So all the toll gates were informed. Teams were sent there to see the CCTV footage of this bus going anywhere. We have to differentiate this bus because there will be many buses like this. The number plate, and then finally towards the night we could trace the origin. I mean the destination of this bus. So we sent teams. So towards the next day evening, we could reach the place where this bus was actually went and was parked. So by the time we went there, it was almost dismembered completely. Had we gone there about an hour late, we wouldn't have had even trace of a single thing there. It would have been completely disappeared. So the entire chassis was there, the tires and all. Entire body was dismembered, engine was taken away, and everything was there. So that was the only evidence left. So we could recover it. So all the fellows we caught from there and then brought them there. We learned that this fellow who committed theft sold the bus for 50,000 rupees. And this fellow was earlier working as a truck driver in Dubai. And somebody promised him, his relatives promised in Maharashtra that if you get his bus, he'll give some money. So he had taken 50,000 rupees as an advance, took this bus and gave it away.
Well, thankfully, the case was in the responsible hands of our police force and has been resolved. So, once again, sir, thank you for joining our podcast and, of course, for your service to our people and our police force. And I have to mention, holding out against whether it be rain, floods, violence, or riots, nothing is new to our police force. But with the killer virus on the prowl, to be aware requires a completely different mindset of strength and courage. And for that, we all bow our heads to the entire police force of India for this selfless courage. So thank you, sir. So thank you once again for joining us, and a big thank you to all our viewers for joining us on Buzmen Videos podcast today. Stay tuned for more inspirational stories coming to you from across the country. My name is Roya, signing off from Buzmen Videos. Stay safe, everybody.